Hello everyone, the Mr. Mon here, and welcome to the Tintin Series Retrospective. And I know it has been a while, but I'm excited to be back, and yeah guys, I'm really excited to do this, and today we're going to be talking about the Blue Lotus, which is Hergé, or Hergés, however you say his name, the author of the Tintin series. It's his fifth book. And this installment is, in a way, a series to, or a sequel to Cigars of the Pharaoh, but it also adds a lot of new plot elements of its own. The entire time in this book, Hergé puts a twist and turn in every direction, and the viewer doesn't really know who is good or bad until a later point in the book. The plot follows Tintin trying to figure out the mystery of the Raja poison. Seriously, how do you even say that? The Rajaha poison. And escaping capture or evading capture. And I'm serious, Tintin must get captured at least 5 times throughout the course of this book. There are a few other plot elements, but that is the main story. We have multiple villains this time around. One minor one in Mr. J.M. Dawson, who I only mention because he'll return in a later book. The main villain, however, is Mitsu Hirato, a drug dealer and double agent. Boy, I hope I said that name right. I'm going to be saying everything wrong, just to let you all know. He's a drug dealer and double agent, and I personally found him to be somewhat of an underwhelming villain compared to the others in the rest of his series. Instead of going after Tintin himself, he just sends his cronies after him or tries to convince other governments to get Tintin for him, and he just doesn't feel cunning enough. And in a way, not very many in the villains in the Tintin story feel that cunning. Really, the only one that does is our main villain, who is Tintin's nemesis, which is Rastapopoulos. However you say his name, again. The most interesting part of his story is following the mystery of all this and trying to piece together the unsolved problems started in Cigars of the Pharaoh. In the midst of all this, we get introduced to Chang Shen, who will be a returning character, and he helps Tintin in his adventure, and in multiple other books he will return. We also see Rastapopoulos again, but this time he is revealed, at the end at least, as the mastermind behind the drug cartel Tintin was trying to break down. He will become Tintin's nemesis throughout the rest of the series. It's also interesting to note that after all the controversy over the last few Tintin books, Hergé used this opportunity to make fun of Western people's view of Chinese people back in the day. It should be noted that Hergé was ordered to make his first 3 books with a certain worldview in mind. Tintin in the Soviets was to be propaganda against socialism, in the Congo was to be an encouragement of colonial settlement, and Tintin America was to be anti-American capitalism. Along with this, Hergé lived in a closed-minded time and had no one around him who really knew about other cultures, and he was just basing his books off the stereotypes that were accepted as fact at the time. But later in his life, and with later books, he started to realize his primitive view on society and society's primitive view on other places and other races and things like that. And in this book and throughout the rest of the books, he makes fun of simple-minded people. But back to the book. How does it hold up? Well, it's a good adventure, with exciting action and mystery elements infused in it. It has Thompson and Thompson, Snowy, and Chang Sheng all mixed into the phrase supporting characters. It has enough comedy to relief to keep it interesting without getting overly comedic, although I feel like there could be a few more comedic elements mixed in, but I'm glad it wasn't overly comedic. And we get introduced to Rastapopoulos, which is a great addition, obviously, to the Tintin cast. You may think it's a very good Tintin book from a lot of the praise I'm giving it, but at the same time, there were some elements I didn't enjoy as much. Obviously, it's missing Captain Haddock, which is always a setback, because Captain Haddock is one of my favorite parts of a Tintin series, and without Captain Haddock, I feel like it's not a full Tintin book. But a lot of the books seem to be focused on rushing Tintin in and out of captivity, and ultimately became rinse and repeat. I would have liked to see more mystery elements incorporated in that actually advance the plot rather than this repetitive formula. It just seemed to keep going into Tintin gets captured, Tintin gets released over and over again. And I thought it would be a lot more interesting if we had focused on more of the mystery and Tintin having to solve it. I also personally found the main villain a bit weak and not as threatening as some of the other villains in the series, as I mentioned earlier. But overall, Tintin and the Lotus is a great book, and it's a huge step towards the right direction from Hergé's earlier works. This Tintin story established the formula and setup of what style Hergé will use throughout the rest of the series. In the end, I'm going to give this one a high can I have some more rating. If you're not familiar with the rating system, you can look at it down in the description. I'm giving this one a high can I have some more rating. It's not perfect, but we're really getting there. I recommend this to non-Tintin fans and Tintin fans alike. Join me next time and we will be talking about Tintin and the Broken Ear. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully we're going to be getting a book soon with a Tintin approved rating.